Here's a question for you that's going to make you really think deeply, and then we're going to jump into today's training, guys. So, the first question I have for you is that your beliefs have always supported you, right? Through it in your entire life, your beliefs have always supported you. And either if that's in a way that has served you or not served you, but they've always supported you. And what I mean by that, by supporting you, means that they've always reinforced themselves in real time to give you the evidence to reinforce that belief, right? So, let's say you believe that you're not good enough. And your external life has shown you evidence to reflect back that you are not actually good enough, right? That belief system. If you believe that you are beautiful and you're confident, your external life has continuously reflected that to you over and over and over again. If you believe that you are smart, if you believe that you're worthy and deserving of whatever it may be, if you believe that you're not confident, whatever it may be, whatever belief systems that you have about yourself, they've always supported you over and over and over again in life, right? I think we can all agree on that. So, if that's the case, if what you personally believe has always reflected in your outer life, well, then wouldn't it be true that if you change those core beliefs, those new beliefs that you inserted would then reinforce in your external life? You would then find evidence for that in your external life. And if you look at how the brain works, right? The brain, so all your beliefs live in that 95% area, your subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind is basically conserve energy. Everything's just a program because if we keep acting, feeling, thinking, believing in these ways, having these same experiences, we know that we're safe and secure, right? So it's like a program that's playing. And that overall is, your dominant state. And in there is your core beliefs, right? Your core beliefs. So your brain, your RAS shows that you will literally filter in your personal reality that core belief systems and all that stuff there that you believe will be filtered into your reality. So you will search and find evidence for it over and over and over again. So your personal beliefs have always supported you. Now, what is a belief? A belief is something where it's like, I believe in this to be true. It's a personal truth, right? This is what I believe about the world and how it works. And this is the evidence I've gathered in my external reality to influence that core belief. But remember, a belief can be changed. A belief can be changed. So my question for you today as we jump into today's training, guys, is if the beliefs that you always have always supported you, wouldn't it be true that if you change those beliefs to new beliefs, they would support you as well? And if that's the truth, well, then why not reflect and dissect and review all the limiting, disempowering, and fearful based beliefs that you have and rewire those and implement new empowering beliefs that serve you at your highest level? Because if your beliefs will always support you, why not change them to a way that's going to support you with what you actually want rather than what you don't want? For example, let's say someone who's like, the world is against me, the world sucks, I'm broken, and I can't change, right? If that's what they believe, they're going to keep finding evidence over and over and over again in their life to reinforce that belief, to keep believing that they are genuinely broken, that they genuinely cannot change, right? So, my question is if that's your core belief, why not dissect it? Why not find where that belief comes from? Because you got to understand this is that when you're a baby, you didn't have that belief. That belief was programmed into you at some point in your life that then influenced your personal reality. But also, we know through studying epigenetics, it influences your biology, but also through neuroscience as well, it influences your brain. Okay, neurons that fire together wire together. So your beliefs will keep they will keep supporting you. So if you have these disempowering beliefs, why not change them to more empowering ones? And remember, here's what I want to share with you. As I share that question with you, you might have that old story. I call it the old story. It's the ego, it's the identity, it's the thing that we've created that holds on to this story and protects the story so we can keep it reproducing over and over again. Because you got to understand that your beliefs don't want to be changed. Your beliefs do not want to be changed. Your fears do not want to be changed. They don't want to be realized. They want that story to keep playing. So even as I say this question, you might find that inner voice might be trying to find conflicting evidence or might be trying to go against what I just shared, just so you do not challenge or face those. But I want to empower you to do that. So today, guys, I'm going to go over with you, and I'm not going to open up the whiteboard actually. I'm just going to share with you today. I'm going to speak from the heart on how this idea, this new belief of oneness has changed my entire life and how it can change yours moving forwards as well. So, especially if you're someone who feels super lonely, if you're suffering a lot in your life, if you're very insecure about yourself, this is going to be the training for you today. This is gonna, if you fully can grasp this, understand it, if you're open to it, this might change your entire life moving forward. Your social interactions, your relationships, how you show up as a personal person in this world, your personal power, your confidence, everything can change from this one simple belief shift. It's like a ripple effect from one core belief. Okay, so diving into it, this core belief that I've adopted specifically this year, because here's what I want to share with you. There's a difference between thinking and like kind of knowing and kind of believing compared to actually believing in something compared to knowing something. So throughout my life, I've always considered myself kind of a spiritual person. And I've always known there was something special about all this, something magical. And I've had these ideas, okay, but they weren't imprinted. So they weren't set in stone. So the ideas around we're all energy, we're all one. I had that idea, but it wasn't fully ingrained. How did I know that? Because I still judged people. Okay, I still judged myself. I still disempowered myself. So I had these thoughts, but they weren't ingrained as beliefs, so they weren't influencing my personal reality. And then over the past year, I've really ingrained this new belief to the point where it's like, okay, I actually genuinely care about this and I want to practice it in my real life. So I'm going to consciously stay aware of this so I can practice it in my actions, my thoughts, my relationships. And then now I got into a point where I know it to be true. It's like brushing my teeth. I just do it. I don't question it. I do it. I embody it. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's a part of my personal reality and my makeup here on this earth. And that is, I shouldn't even say the belief. I should say, for me, the knowing that we are all one. So this past year, I've been really able to download or remember this belief, this idea that we're all one. And when I did this, by doing this, it has changed my entire life. And that's why I want to share this with you guys today, because I personally think that if we're able to adopt this belief system, and however you can adopt it that helps you, like either if you're religious, if you're an atheist, if you're spiritual, whatever it may be, however you can. I'll share some evidence too behind this idea. Um, but I personally think that if we can adopt this belief, it will change so many of our lives, because a lot of our suffering, a lot of our suffering comes from the illusion of separation. Okay. A lot of our disempowerment comes from the illusion of separation. And if we can remember that we are all truly one, just imagine how much war would end, how much conflict would end, how much more acceptance and unconditional love would take its place. So I truly do believe that a massive part in our overall human evolution or our togetherness to keep ascending and transforming and evolving and surviving is coming together. And this belief system can do that. So I, in the past year, been able to download this idea. Now, what helped me personally? So I'll share with you kind of what helped me really embody this belief system, and then I'll share with you how it's changed my life as well. So for me, it was number one. I've been studying for 9, 10 years now, just like law of attraction, manifesting. And inside that, like the deeper and deeper you go, at first you kind of start with the hippie stuff, right? Then you dive into like, okay, the quantum field, quantum physics, and Nikola Tesla, and all that stuff, and how that works there, and energy and vibration and frequency. So you start to understand how like everything is, potential and everything is energy, and how we are that interesting thing that's the observer who's observing all of this, and that with our focus and energy we can collapse nothing into something. We can collapse a potential, a wave, into a particle. And we so you first realize that, and it's like, whoa, that's like mind bending. That's pretty unbelievable that we can do that, and that we have that potential, that power. um but that connects to the idea that we're all energy. We're all energy, and somehow we're these energetic beings that can change our personal reality and our personal experience by changing our personal frequencies and our energy state. And then it goes into the idea of how neuroscience works. And neuroscience works comes down to the, core belief systems and how core belief systems produce the thoughts and emotions that we have and influence our actions and our results in our lives, and really understanding that part as well, the science of manifesting and how all this works. And then behind that as well is consciousness. Okay, so now we're on to the talk of consciousness and how they're finding in all this new evidence now with consciousness and quantum physics about how, so much of everything is happening here and now. And can the past be altered through your present? And telepathy tapes, like they're showing how people are making these connections, and remote viewing that the CIA has showed, like all these different things are connecting to this whole idea of consciousness and how maybe we are consciousness experiencing itself and how we're all one, but yet time and space is the illusion of separation, right? And then it goes down to the idea. So this is the deeper idea of spirituality, is that, well, if we're all one, if we're all consciousness, right, and time and space is inside of us, why would we have all these lives and doing all these things? Like, what would be the point? Well, then that would talk about how, well, if you're consciousness and you want to expand, right, what would you do to expand? You need to experience more of yourself. But if you were already the all knowing one, how could you do that? Well, you create separation as an illusion, right? You separate yourself from yourself to create experience, to create new experiences, right? And that's where the whole idea of this life comes into play, and time and space, and how we're all separated, right? And we're all having these own personalized experiences, but it's all one big dance, all one big dance connected together. So, as I've studied and dove into this more and more about understanding the quantum field and energy, and everything has a frequency and everything vibrates, and then studying behind neuroscience and how we all have this consciousness and what is consciousness, and just overall how life is created and how everything is created, it's got me to a point where now what makes the most sense for me is that we're all one. And by truly embodying this, though, by truly realizing and embodying this belief that we're all one, what it has done for me is wonders. Number one, the first number one thing that's done for me, the most thing that was like hitting home, was judgment. Was judgment. Once I fully adopted this belief that we're all one, I stopped judging people so much. Like I barely judge people. And if I ever do, I catch myself and I try not to do it. Because when you truly believe or know that you are all one, you recognize and you see others as more family. You see other people as more of a reflection of yourself. And when you see that and you fully know that, you no longer want the worst for people. You no longer see it as a competition. You no longer, compare yourself to other people. You no longer judge other people for what they're doing, because you realize that, hey, in a way, that is me. In a way, that is a reflection of myself and their own unique experience, experiencing more and more of themselves. And when you can see it through that lens, you then start to accept them more for themselves. You then have more empathy and unconditional love, because like, what would I judge you for? Oh, you're not doing things in this way that I believe you should be doing it, but your belief system is completely different than mine. Your personal experience is completely different than mine. Yeah, I can believe what is right and wrong, and I can support you in that direction if that's what you want, but I'm not going to sit back and judge you harshly and hate on what you're doing. I'm now going to accept. Okay, I accept you for the way you are. I love you unconditionally no matter what. Okay? I see you for who you are. And here's what will happen, guys, is when you stop judging other people, you'll notice you'll stop judging yourself, and you'll have that same compassion, acceptance within yourself as well. That was the biggest shift, is this illusion of separation. And once I finally changed it, and I see how we're all one now, this idea of separation no longer exists. So I fully accept things for how they are. I'm not attached, and I'm very connected. So if something is in my life, I'm so much more grateful for it. I'm so much more like, just thank you for this experience. Thank you for this reflection of myself. Thank you for this thing in my life. But I'm not like, I need to hold on to this thing in my life because what if it goes away? Because I'm not operating from fear and scarcity. I'm operating from abundance, from oneness. We're all one. There's an abundance of this. Everything is part of the same dance. So if this leaves my personal experience, it's all part of the same dance. It's okay because it's not really leaving. It's just in this time and space. It's not here right now in this focus. And that's okay because I genuinely believe and feel that I am connected to it all. So if something leaves my life, I'm not going to try to hold on to it and I'm not going to suffer. I'm going to quickly accept, allow, and get back into flow. So that's the first one, is when it comes to this illusion of separation and being alone, completely wipes that out. It helps you realize that you are no longer alone. And then number two is that it empowers you because it helps you realize that if I am all part of the same dance and I am all part of this source, well, then doesn't that mean that like I'm not just stuck the way I am? Like, if I am really a part of all this, can I have some sort of influence in changing my personal reality? Can I change this? Like, can I change this lens, this focus that I'm in and change my personal life? It empowers you so much more. You go from, oh, everything is meaningless. What's the point to I'm going to do what I want. I want to create what I want and I'm going to put that meaning into it. And the meaning behind it is simply that it's because it's what I want. I love it. I enjoy it and I can do it because I'm part of something so much more. So it really helps you empower yourself so much more rather than disempower. Right? Disempowered approach is like, I'm alone. I'm this small little thing that doesn't actually matter and I can't change. And this is the life that I'm living in. And this sucks. And I'm just going through all this crap. And it's like, oh, no, 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 no. I realize that this is my personal reality through the lens I'm choosing to look through, and I know that we're all energy. I know that I'm my own energy. I know that energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So if my energy right now is negative and sad, I understand that I can't kill that energy, but I can transform that energy. So then it helps you open up a new lens, right? It helps you open up this new empowered self of like, hey, I can create and change myself rather than I'm stuck in the way I am and this is just who I am. This is just what's happening to me. So that's the next thing is that it really does help empower you so much more. Number three is that it helps you get through fear and struggle and suffering, like I mentioned before, so much easier. Because again, you truly do start to accept things for the way they are. You start to accept things for the way they are. You start to be okay with things and how they are. And you really, really, really embody trust, that trust, that unconditional love, that I am okay with the way things are. I accept the way things are. I trust that everything is for me because if I am a part of all this, why would I want to make this in a terrible way for myself? It must be in a way where I'm setting myself up for this one big picture or I'm having this own experience, but that doesn't mean it's bad, right? I'm experiencing more of myself. I'm experiencing what I don't prefer in my life so I can know what I do prefer in my life. Like it completely changes the way that you look at your life and experience your own personal life. Okay. So that's the next one. So right now we're on to number one, the illusion of loneliness. Okay. Which connects to the idea of separation, right? Which then also is the next one is being disempowered, right? So feeling disempowered and then taking away that personal power to change, that victim mentality, right? So as you can see, it connects to so much of the things that we struggle with, right? If you just knew, because think of this, guys, if you took away, if you took away space and time, what do you get? If you took away space and time, what do you get? Everything would then be mangled together, right? Everything would then be mangled together. It would be all just energy, right? If we took away all this light, everything would just be energy and all these little particles. Everything would just be vibrating on these different frequencies and it'd just all be energy and potential, right? So the only thing that really separates us is time and space. But you realize that we are all truly, truly connected. And I promise you, it will change your personal experience so, so much. Like I kid you not, I went from judging people, judging myself harshly, being so hard on myself, being so attached to things and outcomes and wanting things to play out the way I wanted. And now it's like I still have the same desires. I still have the same things I want in my life, but it's coming from what I got to focus on truly is my internal state. I got to focus on my internal state so the outer reflects that. And when things don't work out as I'm building, I no longer come from a place of like, oh gosh, this is scary, this is terrible, like things are crashing down. I come from a place of like, this is all happening for me. This is actually the fastest path towards I want to go. Even if that means there's a lesson, not a loss, only lessons, right? That means that this is a part of the journey. Like this happened and it's supposed to happen. Because if it didn't, if it's not supposed to happen, it wouldn't have happened. So it changes everything on how I show up in the world, my how I take action on my goals, how I approach certain situations, struggles, relationships, the whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards. So that's the training for today, guys, is this idea around oneness and how adopting this new idea, this belief, really changed so much in my life. And I believe it can change so much in your life. Because just again, imagine if we looked at a worldview where everyone believed in we're all one, that we're all one, we're all genuinely connected, right? So I'm a reflection of you, you are a reflection of me, right? I want the best for you because in a way you are me, right? I want to love you so much unconditionally. I don't want to attach, like, I don't want to try to control you as an attachment. I want you to be your own beautiful self. I want you to go have your own unique experience. I will not judge it. I will just observe. I will be here loving you unconditionally. I will accept you. And I trust in you to go live your life, have your personal experience. And I trust that we're all one and together at the end of the day. So it's okay. And if that means that your personal experience brings in a lot of suffering for you and struggle, I understand that that is experience. That experience itself means that we're expanding, we're learning, we're growing. I understand that the more and more I learn that the more and more I learn about my suffers and things I don't want, the more and more I can get clear for what I actually do want. So I can see it in a positive lens. And I promise you, though, if the whole world looked at it like this, like imagine world wars, right? We fight through greed. We fight through. So again, greed comes from the idea of scarcity, right? Lack of abundance. We realize we're all one. We'll realize our true abundance, right? War, when we religious war and stuff like that, we go against each other's beliefs and opinions. Instead, you'll look at a lens of like, hey, you know what? I accept your beliefs, even though your beliefs go completely against like my own religious beliefs. It's okay. Like I accept you. That's your personal experience that you're living, and that's totally fine. Let's try to find a way to get connected together, right? Like I am okay with how you're experiencing that, right? So it changes so much. If we could just have this simple belief, and you can connect it with through looking at life through we're all energy, or we're all a creation of God, right? Or we're all source, or we're all a consciousness, whatever it may be. But when you can truly adopt that lens, that we are all part of the one same thing, then you can show up in life of how can I set myself up for success, which means all of me, right? How can I do things in this world from a proper standpoint? Not greed, not coming from not enough, not trying to push dominance. No. How can I from unconditional love? How can I experience myself in my highest form, my highest joy? How can I be an example for everybody else to show my other reflections of myself the path forwards, the path to be, right? Because again, remember this, at the end of the day, guys, what we all want is, yeah, we all want materialistic things, but the reason why we want them is for the emotion that we think we're going to get. And by understanding that you are all one, everything is here and now, you can feel those emotions now without even needing the materialistic thing. And in fact, when you do that, you will attract it and get it in your life much faster. But that is the training for today, guys, is this idea of oneness. Now, I'd love to hear what your personal opinions are on this, your personal beliefs. I'm open to all, so I'd love to hear what you guys think and if this did have any influence or impact on you. But the whole idea behind this is the idea, the belief system, you know, observe it, dissect it for yourself, see how it could possibly support you or not support you, and do what you please with it moving forwards. But I hope this does help anybody, someone who's watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next training. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.